Greetings. Welcome one and all. It's great to see so many old friends of the club. Thank you for coming today, and it's nice to see some new faces as well. And in that spirit, if you're not yet a member of the club, now is the perfect time to become one. There should be forms on the table for you to become a member of the Churchill Club, which will enable you to attend the members-only events. And I'll just highlight a couple of those before we get on with the program today. This Wednesday evening, we're presenting a networking event featuring Christine Comaford-Lynch, offering Rules for Renegades. Now, this is going to be kind of a unique event. It's in Palo Alto, and it will be an abbreviated program which will leave ample time for networking, circulating, and enjoying some, as I say here, heavy hors d'oeuvres and fine wine. So that should be a fun event. That's on Wednesday at Cooley Godward. The law firm in Palo Alto is hosting that for the club. And then next Monday night in San Francisco, we are proud to present our annual CIO Roundtable, with CIOs from Google. My old friend Douglas Merrill will be there, from McKesson, from Levi Strauss, and from Hasbro. That's Monday night, San Francisco, a week from tonight. There are flyers on the table with the details of those events. And also, you can check the Churchill Club website, churchillclub.org. And now on to today's program. We'll open with remarks from Senator John McCain, followed by a conversation with Tony Perkins. Tony, as we know, is the founder of the Always On Network, as well as the Going On community management platform. But most significantly, Tony Perkins is the co-founder of the Churchill Club. So over 21 years ago, Tony and Rich Karlgaard started this great organization. And after they've done a conversation on stage, there should be time for some Q&A with the audience. So we'll have roving microphones for that. Our guest this afternoon is Senator John McCain, who's currently the senior senator from the state of Arizona. He's also the ranking member of the Senate Committee on Armed Services and serves on the Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation, as well as the Senate Committee on Indian Affairs. Senator McCain attended college at the United States Naval Academy and launched a 22-year career as a naval aviator upon graduation. After barely escaping a fiery disaster on the USS Forrestal, the senator volunteered for more combat duty, a decision that led to his being taken as a prisoner of war into the infamous Hanoi Hilton. When he was finally released 5.5 years later, he continued his service by regaining his naval flight status. The senator's last Navy duty assignment was to serve as the naval liaison to the United States Senate. He retired from the Navy in 1981, and in 1982 was elected to the United States Congress, representing what was then the 1st Congressional District of Arizona. In 1986, he was elected to the United States Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Senator John McCain.
Thank you very much, Ray. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ray. Thank you very much, and I want to thank you for your kind introduction, and it's far nicer than the one I received at the Scottsdale Rotary Club, where the guy said, "Here's the latest dope from Washington, Senator John McCain." So thank you for that. I want to thank all of you for being here. I want to thank you for, frankly, the name Churchill Club, one of my personal heroes as a student of history and a man whose entire career was characterized by the quality of doing what he believed was right and taking stands on principles, no matter whether they happen to be popular or unpopular at that particular moment. He had a grounding of intellect and study and experience that gave him the wisdom as well as the judgment to see things generally through the reflection and the future of history in order to make him one of the great heroes of the 20th century. So I want to thank all of you for being here. I want to talk to you for just about a couple of 3 issues, and then I will submit to Tony's interrogation, and then I'd be more than willing to respond to any questions or comments or insults that you might have. I'd like to welcome my friend Bill Jones, who many of you know is former Secretary of State, State Senator, and candidate for the United States Senate, and a good and dear friend. He's now in a number of businesses, including ethanol, so thanks to him and to the state of Iowa, I try to have a glass of ethanol every morning before breakfast, and it makes me feel good. And I want to, again, thank you for allowing me to be here in probably one of the most dynamic places in the world, where innovation, where technology, where new ideas, where incredible progress is made and has been for many, many years. Recently, I was over at Google. Many of you, obviously have been there as well, and I spoke to about 1,200 of their young employees and was subjected to, by the way, they were very liberal employees, I might add, but I did have a great experience, not only of exchanging thoughts and ideas with those generally very young people, but I also had the experience of meeting people who have come here either themselves or their parents or their grandparents from all over the world and have contributed so much to the future of this nation and our economy as people in this room have. This is when I get a little depressed about America's role in the world or the problems and challenges that we have, I try to come back here where really restores my confidence and my faith in America's future. There's a whole lot of issues I'd like to discuss with you, and I know that many of them are of importance to you. Education is important. Obviously, H-1B visas are important. Obviously, we need to do a better job of providing more and more students who can not only come from foreign countries, but have a better education system in America so that we can fulfill the needs and promises of the 21st century. I'd be glad to talk to you about taxes. I would be glad to talk to you about a number of other issues. But first of all, I'd like to talk to you about an issue that is on young people's minds all over America and the world, and that's the issue of climate change. I was in Iraq last week with my friend Lindsey Graham, and I stopped off in Paris to see the new president of France, who I had had the privilege of meeting before, President Sarkozy, who, by the way, may be the first pro-American leader of France since Lafayette, but he really is, and I was very impressed by him. The first issue he brought up to me in our meeting wasn't U.S.-French relations. It was the issue of climate change. And when I go around the world, usually at your expense, and meet young people, that's their number one concern. And when I go talk to students in America, climate change is their number one concern. And my friends, it should be. It should be. There are things happening to our planet which I don't know the entire dimension of, but that I've been aware of for a long enough period of time, for a number of years. When I first ran for president in 2000, town hall meeting after town hall meeting, young people would stand up. This is 2000 campaign and say, what are you going to do about climate change? I'll be very honest with you. I didn't know much about climate change. In fact, darn little. But I began to have hearings as chairman of the Commerce Committee. I began to travel around the world, usually, as I say, at your expense. I went to the northernmost part of the world that's inhabited, Svalbard. I went to the South Pole. I've been to Greenland. I've been all over, and there's no doubt in my mind. But the point is how much time do we have before we act seriously and comprehensively? And I believe that the knowledge and the background and the experience and the innovation and technology rests here in Silicon Valley. We can make climate change something that's beneficial to industries and to businesses and to the economy of the United States of America, because it's going to be green technologies that are going to really bring about a reduction in greenhouse gas emissions. And I don't want to be